This aggressive, futuristic-looking vehicle is the Dodge Charger Daytona SRT concept, specifically the Banshee version, which is the highest output version they're going to be producing. This is featured in Striker Red, which is a new color from the unveil where we saw a black car, but the coolest part about it, in my opinion, is that it's sitting on 4 drag slicks. These were all 275s, all 4 corners with carbon fiber 18-inch wheels. It looks very ready to drag race. It looks really good. This is the 2022 Hyperion XP1 prototype. This is the first vehicle by Hyperion Motors, and it features an all-electric drive system, but uses hydrogen fuel cells for energy storage in place of batteries, making it extremely lightweight and giving it a projected range of about 1,000 miles. It features extreme styling with a glass canopy, but those flying buttresses in the back actually contain solar panels that move and follow the sun. The vehicle has about 1,500 horsepower, an estimated top speed of 220 miles an hour, and the 0 to 60 in just 2.2 seconds. This is the Bentley Molinar Bacalar, and it costs $1.9 million, and they're only building 12 of them. Technically 13 if you count the test car, but they're all already spoken for. You can see it's a Barchetta-style convertible with no convertible top, and has 5,000-year-old Riverwood in the dash there, which is very unique. Power comes from a 650 horsepower Speed W12 with 0 to 60 rated at 3.8 seconds. This is the successor to the Lexus LFA. It's called the Lexus Electrified Sport Concept. And now it is just a concept car, so take this with a grain of salt. But supposedly, the car will be able to do 0 to 60 in around 2 seconds. It features wheel lock nuts, as you can see there, and it has a staggered setup with 20 in the front and 21 in the rear. We don't have any more details other than that, so we'll just have to wait and see when Lexus unveils all the specs. But I think it looks pretty good. This is the Celine S1. This particular car is the GT4 race car, but it's very similar to the street car. This is the first production car Celine has built since the S7 ended production. Power comes from a turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder producing about 450 horsepower, available with a 6-speed manual transmission or flappy paddles if you wanted to go that route. These cars will run you about $100,000 for the street car version. This is the full-size Hot Wheels Bad to the Blade. Now this car is based on a futuristic Indy/F1 car style build, and it's powered by a 1,000cc 4-stroke motorcycle engine. This one in particular was first released in 2012, and it's pretty cool. This Lamborghini Gallardo has been engine swapped with a 1,000 horsepower Toyota 2JZ engine with a massive single turbo and rolling anti-lag, so it can spool up that turbo for hard launches. The car was built by Street Aero and unveiled at SEMA in 2021 and features a variety of custom components, including that titanium exhaust, which exits out the rear and looks absolutely... This is the Hispano Suiza Carmen Bologna, and it's one of 5 cars that are going to be built. They'll set you back about $1.9 million, and the car you see here is finished in Ocean Song Rose, a color built specifically for its owner. Power comes from 4 electric motors, producing a combined output of 1,114 horsepower, which is a 114 horsepower increase over the standard Carmen. 0 to 60 is done in less than 2.6 seconds, and speed has been capped at 190 miles an hour to preserve the design without adding a wing. This is the 2023 Chevrolet Corvette Z06 70th Anniversary Edition. This package brings an option of 2 unique choice colors, either white pearl metallic or carbon flash metallic, both available with stripes as options as well. It comes with a series of special wheels along with special red accents, including in the interior and exterior, along with some special 70th Anniversary Edition badges. Of course, power comes from a 5.5-liter V8 producing 670 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, which is super cool. And what a great way to pay homage to the 1953 C1 Corvette. This is one of 50 Dodge Challenger Mopar drag packs. Power comes from a supercharged 354 cubic inch Hemi V8 with forged internals with an NHRA rating of 630 horsepower. If you know anything about the NHRA, you know that that rating is actually just a class number, and that actual output is more like 1,500 horsepower, allowing this to do the quarter mile in just 7.5 seconds. But this is not cheap. MSRP was $135,995. Yes, your ears do not deceive you. That is a Ford Mustang Mach-E with a Borla active performance sound for EV. Listen to this. This is the real-life Diora 2 from Hot Wheels. The vehicle was built as a collaboration between Chip Foose and 5-Axis, and it was based on a Cadillac chassis and features a 400 horsepower Northstar V8 and is supposedly capable of 155 miles an hour. This crazy contraption is the Shadow 6 Typhoon. It takes two Yamaha jet skis and straps them underneath a Polaris Razor that has a combined output of 500 horsepower with a top speed of over 80 miles an hour on the water. Shadow 6 likes to refer to this as the first aquatic utility vehicle. How funny is that? One of the coolest things about SEMA is that not only do you see these cool cars, but you see the drivers and builders of these cars. In this case, Ken Block and the Hoonicorn, specifically the Hoonicorn V2. Ken Block is actually everywhere this year at SEMA, and I'm not complaining because I think Ken Block is the freaking greatest. The Hoonicorn's here because it's got some new Borla parts and it's in the Borla booth. But how cool is this, just casually running into Ken Block with the Hoonicorn? Freaking love SEMA. This is the C68 Carbon Charger from Exomod Carbon. This is a full carbon fiber body inspired by a 1968 Dodge Charger that's been widened 4.5 inches to fit the Hellcat platform. This body now weighs 400 pounds less than the standard Hellcat and has a top speed of over 200 miles per hour. Because it uses all of the factory Hellcat components, these cars are actually still covered under the Dodge factory warranty. On top of that, you can order these cars any way you want, color, stripes, whatever, or including adding exposed carbon if you chose not to paint certain components. This is the C68 Carbon Charger from Exomod. This is a full carbon fiber body based on a 1968 Dodge Charger that has been dropped on a Hellcat platform. So that means that this now weighs 400 pounds less than the standard Hellcat. Look at that carbon in the door sill. And it still has the 800 horsepower drivetrain, and it's all still covered under the factory warranty by Dodge. Carbon stripes with a plum crazy body. This car just looks absolutely gorgeous. This is Whistling Diesel's 1600 horsepower 1969 Dodge Charger. That is obviously a tribute to General Lee. Those are two 76mm turbos mounted to an LS that produces 1600 horsepower courtesy of 316 speed. And the window, of course, in true Whistling Diesel fashion, has been smashed in by a 45-pound plate. But other than that, the car looks pretty clean, and obviously 1600 horsepower is way more than the Duke. This slammed 6x6 is known as the C10 Slayer, and it's built by DeBerti. It features a supercharged LSX engine capable of producing over 1,000 horsepower, made into a 4L80 transmission, which was chosen to be more robust with the 6x6 drivetrain. The truck's also been widened and features that massive wing on the back, and it looks absolutely fantastic. This Formula One inspired 1948 Chevrolet half-ton is built by Ring Brothers, and its name is Enyo. Power comes from a massive 8.4-liter V8 that makes 1,000 horsepower on race gas, and the Ring Brothers actually include a set of street tires as well, so you don't have to run those Goodyear Eagle racing slicks the whole time, although they do look best that way. You can see it's got a ton of custom components on the car, including those cool carbon side intakes and a little wing in the back just to make it look a little bit more Formula One-y. This is a 1932 Ford Roadster, which was previously owned by Richard Rawlings of Gas Monkey Garage. This vehicle is not for purists or the faint of heart, as the exterior color is finished in Mopar's Plum Crazy, and the power plant comes from a Chevrolet Corvette 327 with 6 Stromberg carburetors. Finished with a 4-speed transmission and white interior with Mercury smoothie wheels over the white walls. It looks fantastic, and what better way to collect purist tears than this hot rod?